After years of wedded bliss, Nick couldn't take it any longer. Melissa, through no fault of her own, had grown up in a home without cable TV or a VCR. If that last sentence confused you, Google it. This had resulted in her having very little pop culture movie knowledge. In order to right this injustice, the duo will watch and discuss movie after movie until Melissa has caught up with the zeitgeist of her generation. Welcome to their journey.
Well, Merry almost Christmas to you.
Thank you, and it's lovely here under the glow of the Christmas lights.
It sure is. I love that time of year.
Me too.
It's nice.
Puts me in the mood for a Christmas movie.
Does it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that is interesting you bring that up.
What's the movie?
What are you hoping it'll be? Because I'm conflicted. Because it's like when you ask someone, like, what did you want for Christmas? When you already have them a Christmas present, and there's a chance that it could not be the present they want, then you're like, here you go. And then you give it to them. But I'm kind of a glutton for punishment. So what do you hope it's going to be?
I'm hoping for Die Hard. I know we're watching it. And I love that movie. And so I'm hoping that's what we're watching tonight.
Okay.
I'm ready for bare feet.
Wow. Okay. Well, that is not the movie we're watching tonight.
Oh.
Cue disappointed laughter and or sighing and or, yeah.
I'm going to cry into my stocking.
You're going to be all right? No, I thought after last week we could use a little brevity. So we're actually watching National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Oh, okay. Chevy Chase.
Oh, that's a yes. You've heard of this film.
Yes, I got one right.
Have you seen it before?
No.
I didn't think so.
But
okay.
I've seen clips.
Uh-huh.
And I think I've seen parts of their vacation. Like I've seen enough to know sort of that's a family that bad stuff happens to.
Yes.
And there's like a Christmas lighting scene. They've got a station wagon. I'm just spitballing all of the facts that I know. And that's the end of it.
Wow. I would be shocked if you grew up, the time span in this country, in the United States of America that you grew up, like if you have not seen at least a clip from this movie, I would be shocked. So I'm glad to know you were sheltered, but you weren't that sheltered. So that's good to know. That's it? That's all you know? Because the funny thing is like National Lampoon Vacation movies, there's more than one.
Right. There's I've seen another clip of another one that's not the Christmas one, where they want to get their photo taken.
Yeah.
And so someone is like, oh, stand in this fountain, take your shoes off. And then runs off with their camera. I've seen that one.
Okay.
And then the son in that one was from that other movie.
Which other movie?
Oh, shoot. You just said the name the other day.
I did. I totally did.
Mm-hmm. Record store.
Record store?
Yeah, the record store. It's going out of business and they have to...
Empire Records?
Empire Records, yeah.
He's not in that movie.
No, yes, there's someone. There's someone in these movies who's in Empire Records.
Wow, okay.
I'm going to stand by this until I'm proven wrong.
You've never been proven wrong as far as what actors are in movies, he said with a straight face.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when do you think this one was made?
Like 88.
88? Okay.
Yeah.
That's a decent guess. I'll let you know. I don't know. Am I going to let you know if you actually get it right? I don't know. We'll see. It's Christmas time, so maybe I will for one of the Christmas movies.
When I was a kid, Chevy Chase kind of annoyed me. But now that I'm an adult, I like him.
Oh my goodness.
Like things changed. I don't know what changed, but I grew up and now I like him.
Yeah. Have you seen Fletch before?
Yes. And maybe that's why.
You saw Fletch?
Yeah. So certain times in my life, people who care about me have said, oh, have you seen this movie? And I would say no. And they'd say, what? Yeah. You haven't seen this movie? Yeah. You must. And they've forced me to watch it. Okay. So Krista Bever, I believe it was her that forced me to watch Fletch in college. And so I have seen that.
Have you seen Fletch Returns?
No, you're making that up.
I'm not making it up.
Okay.
It wouldn't be a preamble for me if there wasn't a movie that you haven't seen that I mentioned.
Another reveal.
Another one. Okay, cool. How are you feeling about you're about to see Christmas Vacation? How you feel?
Well, I'm looking forward to it. And I know Chevy Chase is in it and I like him now. So I'm excited to see him in this movie.
Okay.
And now I get to understand why people watch it year after year.
I mean, some people watch it like multiple times during the Christmas season.
I've heard that.
Yes.
I've heard about these people.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, I kind of want to get to it.
Let's do it.
Do you have like a word or two that you want to use to encapsulate what you think this film's going to be like?
Light it up.
Light it up. All right. All right. Let's go light it up.
All right.
Wowzer.
Hey.
Hi.
We did it.
We did it.
We watched National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
We sure did. How you doing?
I really related to Sparky Griswold.
Really?
I did. I really related to him.
In what way?
Oh my gosh.
I like how you call him Sparky Griswold. That's
I don't remember his real
his
name.
wife's name. It's Clark W. Griswold.
Oh, Clarky, Sparky. Yeah, okay. He loves Christmas and he just wants to have a great time and he wants the magic. That's how I feel every year. Absolutely.
That's true. You do start to itch and start pulling out the boxes and getting all the stuff up. That's true. Mm-hmm. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
And the opening scene where he and his wife are just like cheerful, singing Christmas carols in the car, and the kids in the back seat are just scowling and bored out of their skulls. Yeah. That's me all the time. I'm like always mostly
boring.
Chipper, and I'm a morning person.
That's
and I'm usually like happy about what I'm doing and find something to get excited about. And then the people around me are like, oh my gosh. I really felt like that was my life.
Wow.
In the car.
Wow. Okay. Even the road rage part?
In the station wagon. No, not the road rage part.
Okay.
He gets a little angrier, I guess, a little more easily than I do.
Yeah.
But he's still pretty unflappable.
That's true. Yes. He can, I mean, this is the third movie of like the Griswolds. The third one.
You mean there's two other Griswold movies that happened before this one?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, you remember how when you were like, what is the National Lampoon? There's nothing to do in the movie about National Lampoon.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up because it's like a total it's just out of nowhere. What does it mean?
National Lampoon was a magazine, like a comedy magazine. Oh. It originated, I think it was just called the Lampoon. It was the Harvard Lampoon, I think. And then some of the guys from that started the magazine. It got crazy popular. It got super mega popular after Animal House, National Lampoon's Animal House.
Wait, was put on by a magazine?
Have you ever seen Animal House?
I've seen Animal House.
Okay.
So that was put out by a magazine?
It was.
What does the magazine have to do with the movie?
The magazine is how it all started. It was comedy, like writing. It was just jokes and stories and different, just like a school of thought for comedy.
Okay.
Right? Think about like SNL, how there's like writers' rooms and the people like pitch ideas and all this stuff and riff and create stuff, right?
I'm tracking.
And then the SNL people go on to make movies, right? Same kind of deal. National Lampoon, they had like these writers and yeah. So that's where it came from. They made a movie and it was National Lampoon's movie. That thing was so wildly successful. It was like, it's still like one of the highest grossing comedies of all time. And it was so successful, they just start putting National Lampoon in front of almost everything when they release it, just so they could like get in on like the notoriety of it.
Wow. I always thought National Lampoon was either like a Sears Roebuck catalog or like a chocolates, like a box of chocolates company, like Whitman's Sampler or something. That's where my mind tried to put it. It's totally wrong.
No, it's like an adult humor magazine.
Like Mad Magazine?
But
adult?
More adult than Mad Magazine, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
So that's why it's called National Lampoon. The first one was Vacation. And that's where, well, you haven't seen that one, right?
No, I haven't seen any of those.
All right.
This is the first time I met the Griswolds in this movie.
Yeah. Well,
except for the clips I've seen of the Paris one. Or
yeah, that's European Vacation.
Yeah, European one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Wow. Well, that's why it's called National Lampoon. Now you know. You good?
I'm good. I'm so glad we solved that.
I know. It was going to bother you, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, forever.
Okay. So do you want to give us a quick summary of the film?
Yeah. So Sparky Griswold, he wants to give his family a beautiful, perfect, picture perfect Christmas.
He sure does.
And it's hard for him because his family's tanking him. His in-laws and his parents come to stay with him.
Yep.
He's kind of has bad luck with a lot of things. Like he tries to do so much.
Yep.
And everything just backfires or goes wrong or sideways or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's going okay. And then his brother shows up.
That's not his brother.
Oh, his cousin?
It's his cousin.
His cousin shows up.
Cousin Eddie. Yeah.
Cousin Eddie shows up. Another even like worse, crazy character that just brings more chaos to the family.
Yeah.
And he's just trying to roll with it. And he has this surprise planned. A pool for his family. And he's already put the money down, but he doesn't have the money in the checking account, and he needs his Christmas bonus to fill in the bank account and make it happen.
Yes.
So he's trying to make the perfect Christmas. He's waiting for his Christmas bonus. His family is crazy. True. And it just gets worse and worse. And you're seeing like everything that can happen and everything that can go wrong goes wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did it make you keep going? Sorry.
Well, I'm doing a quick summary. So,
sure.
The climax of the film is things have just gone completely terrible on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
And he doesn't get his bonus.
Yep.
And his cousin Eddie goes and kidnaps his boss and brings him to their house.
Yeah.
As a weird, terrible Christmas present.
Because he had gone on like this big old,
He ranted. Like he finally lost it and he ranted about what he would say to his boss if he could.
Yeah.
So Cousin Eddie just kidnaps the man right out of his home, still in his pajamas. And
puts a bow on him even.
Puts a bow on him. So that's kind of the climax of the film. And from there, things get a little better.
Yeah.
It's still crazy though.
Wow. Yes. There's that's a great summary, actually, of the movie. There's so many nuanced things in the film. Like, it's full of a lot of funny jokes. Like, I mean, that's like kind of an understatement, obviously. It's a National Lampoon movie, Christmas Vacation, but it seriously is funny. There were a lot of like, I've seen it multiple times and I still laugh out loud at a couple parts. So,
what part made you laugh the most?
Oh, man. I love the scene where he's going down the saucer sled. Like when he sprays his like special experimental, he works at a food company, experimental like coating for whatever it is. It's super slick. It's like 100 times slicker than Crisco or something. And then when he puts it on the bottom of the metal saucer, the scene, like the whole thing doesn't make me laugh. It's the part where he jumps on it and he goes 1, 2, 3. And then they literally show like on the slope a wide shot and you see like a trail of fire with smoke.
It's almost like a rocket.
Yeah, exactly. That part makes me laugh.
When we were watching that, you said this is every kid's dream.
Yeah.
Because then he just like sleds forever. Like the longest sled ride ever.
He just keeps going.
I know. It's amazing.
He even ends up on the highway and he's like going down the highway. It's hard to, I can't remember exactly the other part. Like the old in-laws who come in, the little old lady who like wraps her cat up as a present makes me laugh a lot. And his like crotchety old uncle who has like a foot-long cigar. He's just so curmudgeon-y. He's funny.
He talks too loud. He's kind of like, condescending in all of his words. And
Cousin Eddie is when he's draining the septic out of his RV into the sewer.
Yes.
Oh,
we haven't mentioned yet that all of this is being witnessed by the neighbors who live next door to the Griswolds.
The pretentious
Margot,
their pretentious neighbors.
Yeah, Julia Louis Dreyfus, and she is like so good at being snobby. It's amazing.
Yeah,
and
she's great at being snobby.
I think some of my favorite parts are when they are getting like his bad luck is like kind of getting to them. Like, you know, it's nice and quiet and they're having this quiet dinner, and then you know, he'd been working on stringing up Christmas lights on his house.
The lights.
That whole storyline is my favorite, I think.
Like the Italian lights, and what was it, like 3,500 lights, I think, on the house. Oh, it's just crazy.
And when they finally get it going, it's so loud. And it just like it's like so a bright, searchlight in their window. I love it.
And then they're like slipping down the stairs and everything. It's good. There's lots of good slapstick in the movie.
Slapstick, gags galore.
Tons of gags.
And also kind of those jokes where they make you uncomfortable. Like the dry turkey, when everyone's just like chewing and gnawing and drinking enormous amounts of water to like wash down this dry turkey. The dinner scene, and that was one of those like long gags that it's uncomfortable because it just keeps going.
I like funny. In that one, the wife, she like brings it up to her mouth and then just flicks it away to the side. That's good stuff. So how do you feel? Did you like it?
Yeah, I liked it. It was fun. I can see why this is an enduring classic. And people watch it over and over. Definitely. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
What was your favorite part of the movie?
Oh, I loved like I said, the lights stringing up. I just loved also going out in the woods to chop down a tree.
Oh yeah.
But I love it because it's something I love doing. And so I love every bit of that. Like when they get cold, and then the daughter, you know, at first she's like, I can't feel my feet, and then she's like, I can't feel my legs, and then they like show her face, and they gave her like, I don't know, like the silver eye makeup on her eyes, and the mom's like, oh, she can't see, her eyes are frozen,
she can't blink.
It's just so great. And then he forgets to bring the saw. They're all the way out there, and they find the perfect tree, and he forgets the saw. I love that because it's something I would do. I just like, I relate to it so much.
Or you would go out into the woods?
Whole shebang. The whole thing. I would do that. I would suffer for a tree.
Yeah.
And then maybe forget something essential. Yeah.
The scene with the lights where he, it's just the like the vaudeville type aspect of it where they're going on and they're going off and they're trying to figure out why it's going on and off, you know?
Yeah, and people are flipping switches on and they don't realize they're turning it on. I loved that. It's so true to life. Yeah. It's so realistic.
And in that, in real life, when he did the scene, like he got upset, you know, and he started like hitting the Santa.
Yeah.
He had like a Santa and reindeer. He broke his pinky when he punched Santa.
No way.
Yeah. And he just kept going in the take. And that's the one they kept. So when you see him punch that, he like broke his pinky when he did that.
That's smart to break your pinky. Yeah. Yikes.
Yeah.
Who knew he was hardcore?
He's apparently very hardcore.
Wow.
He got the take.
You know what else I really liked?
The staples. Sorry.
Oh, yes.
The staples. Every time he kept stapling things with the staple gun.
The shingles.
The shingles. He was the gutter. He was stapling everything. It was driving me insane. It's just so destructive and hilarious. And then he launches, when he falls, the kind of time where he's falling off the roof and he launches the ice into the neighbor's house. Like there's like an ice torpedo.
Yes, that's amazing. I think I gasped out loud at that part and I was like, oh no.
Yeah. Sorry, what were you going to say?
Oh, I also really liked how they asked the aunt. The aunt who...
To say grace.
And she says the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yes.
And they all say the Pledge of Allegiance and then they say amen. And it's just so sweet. It's hilarious.
And when the cousin stands up halfway through because it's the Pledge of Allegiance and puts his hand over his heart. Oh, it's so funny.
It just feels so real.
Yeah.
Like that could really happen.
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking about that, like just the relatives you don't see. You know, and they come out of the woodwork. It's just totally that feeling. It harkens back to many a Christmas for me, where there'd just be a relative I really only saw once a year, maybe twice a year.
But then suddenly you're sharing a house with them, and you're like, oh, we're family. We're here together.
Yep.
And we're gonna live together and have all of our meals together.
Yeah.
Like Yeah. That's what we do.
That's what we do.
To ourselves on purpose.
We do that. We sure do. We sure do.
What I also liked about the movie was it's very, because of the time it was made. When was it made? What year was that?
Well, you, what did you guess? 88?
I guessed 88.
You were close. It was 1989.
After I saw the house, I was like, oh, that's a really late 80s decorating job.
Yeah, I think you were like, it looks like the 90s. Yeah.
And it was a John Hughes film. So it's in Chicago. And
yeah, he wrote it. Yeah.
Those elements of John Hughes, like that slice of American life is fun to see. It was before cell phones. It was a little less complicated. Yeah. And so, the family, the grandparents all came over. They go to Chicago and they go shopping for the day, have lunch, and then come home with all their presents ready for Christmas. And it showed scenes of them just like the grandparents watching TV and decorating gingerbread houses and just kind of hanging out. Like that's a precious thing. Yeah. And it's captured in the movie really well. So those things were cool.
It definitely feels very, it's weird how even though it's so slapsticky, it still feels so real. It's like a weird line it has.
Yeah. Yeah. Because there's a lot of unrealistic things.
Oh, absolutely. Tons of unrealistic things. I love the, how there's the montage when they go into Chicago and they're showing all the, just the sights and then the shopping montage stuff.
Yes. Love it.
I missed it. It was those credit card, what are those, the film things, the chunks? The negatives? Was it a negative? The carbon paper?
It was using carbon paper to make an impression of your credit card. Yes. So that it was saved on the receipt. Yes. With your signature.
Yes. Seeing that just took me back. I had not thought of that and that technology in so long. Yeah. Wow. Just the ka-chunk thing that just really took me back.
You know what it made me want to do?
What?
Go to Chicago and go shopping.
Of course it did. Of course it did.
Like right now. While everything's lit up. It'd be right perfect.
Now. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, you want a mogwai? You want a trip to Chicago? Speaking of Chicago, I didn't know, like when we were starting, I don't think I knew that was a John Hughes, like that he wrote it. I forgot. Like, I think I mentioned before, like I knew it because of Ready Player 2, because they mentioned Hughes' world in Ready Player 2. Right. And which I would want to go to in the Oasis, by the way.
Oh, totally.
A John Hughes world, that would be amazing. But anyway, I like his writing a lot. I really enjoy his films.
I would go to John Hughes world in the Oasis as well.
It'd be amazing.
It would be a lot of fun. Yeah. And the music would be great too.
Oh, totally. Yeah. So how would you rate this movie then?
Not for kids.
Not for kids. Yes, I would agree.
Slapstick Christmassy fun. That's maybe my little tag I'd put on it.
Okay.
Slapstick, gags galore, Christmas, Chevy Chase. I'm just naming tags.
You're just saying, basically everything. Shopping, holiday, lights, Santa, reindeer. Did I miss anything? Pine trees.
Sledding.
Oh, definitely sledding. That's true. How do you think this one landed? Like,
I'm guessing it was wildly popular. And I mean, because now everyone still watches it. So all the people, like I'm thinking of my family, people in my family who love it. They probably saw it when it came out and they still watch it every year because it's like sentimental and nostalgic.
I think it made, I want to say it made like, it was 30 million, made 70, something like that. So it did good. Didn't do amazing, but it did good. And this is one of those too, where it's like rotation. It was just saturation. Like every Christmas, there's just certain movies that are on TV that are just playing,
Oh, yeah.
This totally became one of those. That's why I saw it as many times as I did. It was just on TV. Like, yeah.
I see a lot of merchandising for this movie still to this day. Like, there's always things for sale that have like pictures or things from the movie in it.
Sorry. Cousin Eddie is just, I just keep thinking of his leisure suits. The leisure suits. And then the scene where they're shopping in a Walmart.
Yes.
And it dawned on me that was probably the first time I was ever exposed to Walmart.
Yeah, me too.
Like, it was at least a decade before there was one in our area.
What I'd like to say, I'm going to take back what I just said.
Yeah.
I said me too. What I meant to say is I didn't know about Walmart when the movie came out.
Right.
Like, until way later.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know about it now. And yes. I mean, like, I saw that movie pretty close to when it came out. And then there probably wasn't a Walmart, until 20 years later or something like that. 15 years later. Weird to think about, right?
Yeah.
But Cousin Eddie, in the scene where they're shopping and he's just casually buying dog supplies. And he just keeps adding like wet food, dry food, like 50-pound bags and
like 4 50-pound bags.
Yes. And Clark puts the light bulb on top of them and he throws another one on top and just breaks the light bulbs. He's just so smarmy. He's such a smarmy guy.
But Clark has really good like one-liners to him.
Oh yeah. It's because Eddie's not paying attention.
Yeah.
So he'll just say things like, I want to leave you in the middle of the woods to die. Stuff like that.
That's great. That's another favorite part is when he says things like that.
Yeah. He has
great.
A lot of good under his breath zingers.
I also love the part where he goes up in the attic.
Oh yeah.
And he's trying to hide. Why is he trying to hide Christmas presents in the attic? They're already wrapped.
I have no idea.
You don't need to hide them. I don't know.
All I can think of is like, maybe he was afraid the kids or his wife was gonna like peek inside of the wrapped presents. Because I may have done that once. So
what?
That's a thing. I never told you this story.
Wait, presents I bought you?
No,
peeked?
no. When I was a kid.
Yeah, no, I knew that.
Yeah, when I was a kid.
I peeked once too.
Oh, you don't feel good.
No,
it's not good.
It wasn't worth it.
It was not worth it.
It was Aunt Ruth's presents because she always wrapped them and like brought them up in October and just left them in the room. Yeah,
that's a long time.
I know. You're staring at them for like 2 months, 3 months.
Wow, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
I hope it wasn't a cat.
It wasn't
a cat. Good.
She didn't accidentally wrap her cat.
That's awesome. That's good. Otherwise, it would have smelled quite horrible. So, do you think this movie holds up well?
Yeah. I think.
What?
This is what always happens. I say it kind of holds up, and then you go on to say how it really holds up and it's still amazing.
What are you talking about?
This is the pattern. I think this has happened like 5 times.
What?
I think it is a slice of life from that time.
Yeah.
The decor of the house and the fashion is like very dated.
Oh,
you can tell.
Totally. Yeah.
You know when this movie was made, but it's still funny. It's still very funny.
Well, so it sounds like you're like, yes, it does. Okay. I think that's what I just heard.
I think that's my answer.
I think it holds up amazingly. No, I'm just kidding.
Surprise.
No, I 100% agree. This is it's very dated just because of the time in which it was. But like the interactions with the family, like we've been talking about, are like timeless. Like you're going to be able to watch this unless, I dare say, even people in the future, like the Expanse time, they're still going to have gatherings and there's still going to be random relatives. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So I'm calling it. This one's going to hold up for the next 300 years. I'm just calling it.
Well into Expanse time. Awesome. The Belters, are the Belters going to get into it?
The Belters probably would like it a lot. They would really relate. They'd probably relate to the cousin a lot, actually. Because he's very industrious.
Oh, yeah.
He uses the resources around him. And he takes advantage of the rich, innas, as they say.
So the kids, Juliette Lewis plays the daughter, and the son is the kid from Roseanne.
Yes.
And that other show,
Big Bang Theory.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He looks the same.
It's weird.
It's so cool and weird.
He was so young when he made that. I don't remember. He had to have been under 15. Like, yeah. But
his eyes are like it's so cool to see.
Yeah, exactly the same. It's pretty cool. That I don't want to. No, I was gonna talk about Griswold kids, but you'll just have to see the other movies.
Okay.
I don't want to. Yeah. Did you recognize the boss?
He looked familiar, but I couldn't place him.
There's a really good reason why.
Okay.
That's Bill Murray's brother.
Whoa. Bill Murray has siblings?
He does. I think he has 2 or 3.
Are they getting together for Christmas?
I mean, probably.
Whoa.
You know they had to joke one time about him coming in like, in a bow tied up. Like, that feels like something you would have joked about.
Cool.
Because he was held hostage,
You know who I thought that man was?
Who?
Is it Boy Meets World, like Mr. McPhee?
Oh, the teacher?
Yeah. I thought it was him. He kind of
he had that tiny look. Mustache, yeah.
Maybe it's just the mustache.
It's the little mustache. Like, you hear his voice, though. He has, like, Bill Murray's voices. They sound kind of alike. His is a little more gruff.
He didn't talk enough like in the movie for me.
Yeah, one of these voices.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't notice that connection this time.
I mean, once I realized it was his brother, just looking at a picture of him, you're like, oh, yeah, hello. Okay.
He was a very caricature of a boss.
Oh, the evil, greedy
the evil
boss.
overlord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing uncharacteristic is that he actually changes his mind at the end.
I know, the ending is really funny. There's a SWAT team that storms the house after the kidnapping.
Yeah.
And they break every single window in the house getting in there.
Yeah.
And this is just after the Christmas tree has burst into flames.
Yes. The uncle with the cigar, he threw the match behind him and it just lit the tree up. My favorite gag is the wife when the SWAT team tells them all to freeze, and
this is your favorite gag.
It's so
you were like,
funny.
Melissa, you have to see this. Look.
Chevy Chase is sitting there with his hands up and she's like around his like waist, and she just happened to, like, when she grabbed him, one hand's on his crotch and one hand's on his leg. Like, she just did that. And then she like shakes the hand of someone and then puts her hand back on his crotch. It's just so silly. So stupid.
So silly and awkward.
Oh, it's so funny.
But she's really good.
She's great in that
and she
movie.
like totally just pulls that off. She was really great.
She's amazing. She's really good in all of them. That's Beverly D'Angelo. She's hilarious.
Yeah. Oh, one thing I liked that one of the scenes with her and Sparky where they were in bed and he had just it was in the beginning.
Yeah.
They were done with the tree and they put the tree up and it's enormous.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's a lot of sap in here.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to them in bed, and it's a wonderful camera angle. The camera's up top on the ceiling looking down on them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they're just so natural together.
Yeah.
Their chemistry was great. And he's looking at a magazine. He's just sticking to every page because there's sap. But they played it like so straight.
So straight.
How on earth could anyone keep a straight face during that? I don't know. But they were amazing.
I mean, you kind of understand, like, if you've seen the other movies, she's just used to him. Like, she even says that a couple times in the movie. She's like, you know how you get, kind of stuff. So she's totally used to just how he is. And he is, I am a sucker for stupid gags like that. Like,
there's a lot of gags like that, but they really pull them off well.
Yes, you have to play him straight. And that's what Chevy Chase is a genius at.
Yeah.
He's a genius at being, like, playing the straight man with his own, like, bumbling stuff. Like, yeah.
But when he gets his crazy eyes too, he's good at that too. Yeah. He has a lot of expression in his face.
He sure does.
A lot of command of expression.
Yeah.
Was he on SNL?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Was she on SNL?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
Not that I'm aware of. He was on SNL first season, and he was so crazy popular that they thought he was going to be like the biggest movie star in the world type thing. So he just left after the first season.
Is this fact
checked?
Or is this like your summary?
This is you can go to the internet yourself. You are free to check any of the factoids I give you at any time.
Okay, thank you.
In your free time. You are most welcome. It's to the best of my recollection.
Okay.
I have a lot of random knowledge that just has been poured into my brain over the years.
You've been my personal IMDb since before IMDb existed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Except now you have the technology to check if I'm actually accurate. So, who's got the time? Yeah, so he went off and did some movies. and never came back to SNL. As far as I know.
Well, the scene where they're in the bed and the pine sap, and it's just long. It just keeps going.
That's the best part, though, is how long it goes.
I know, but then when he gets his hair and the lamp in like
when he says goodnight to her, yes, and his hand gets stuck, and then he goes and touches the lamp, and the lamp falls on him,
and they don't react to it at all.
No,
it's just amazing.
It's hilarious.
Yeah,
that's funny. So what was your least favorite part of the movie?
I was really sad when the cat met its untimely demise. It was so beautiful.
Yeah.
And there were also some...
It was gorgeous. That cat was like... seriously, when I saw it, I'm not joking. I imagined petting it because its fur looked so luscious.
How can you not?
It was gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful cat.
There were also some scenes where, he was daydreaming about being with another woman.
Oh,
or,
right.
The woman at the pool and whatever. The lingerie saleswoman.
Yeah. Which, those are never your favorite, I know. They were so goofy, though. Like, yeah. Especially when at the lingeries, it was like a Macy's or something or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know I don't remember.
Yeah, at the counter.
A big department store. At the height of the department store era.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they ever sold lingerie this way, but she like showed him with her like drawing up her skirt to her thigh to see what it looked like. I don't know. Did that ever happen? Oh my gosh. What? My aunt sold lingerie. I just remember that. What? I'm going to ask her what it was like back then.
Wow. I don't know if I want to be. I conflict.
You didn't know that.
I did not know that wasn't it in Chicago she sold it to?
It may have been.
What?
It really may have been.
What? Wow.
Gonna do some family digging.
I guess so.
I gotta go call my aunt.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I mean, usually when you think of people talking about like the merchandise, it's like, a Rolex store. You're wearing like a watch or something like that. So, wow. Okay. Wow. Revelation.
I know.
It's a night of revelations.
Holy cow.
Wow. Okay. So,
what part did you not like? You had a part that you were, that wasn't your favorite.
What was my least favorite part?
It was a new feeling of empathy.
Oh, it wasn't my least favorite part. It was more just, I've seen all these movies we watch, most of them. And this movie, I like super empathize with the neighbors because they're just trying to like live their best lives. They're like working out. They're wearing matching outfits, which can be hard to do depending on your spouse who doesn't want to match you. They're eating right. They're having like margarita nights with each other, trying to keep their relationship spicy, like they're doing it all right. They're working hard. You can tell they're off working hard. They're like kind of yuppie-ish, sure. But anyway, they're really trying and they're like cutting edge for their time. Like they had a stereo that had a CD player. Like this is big.
Yeah.
And then the Griswolds just keep tanking. Clark just keeps tanking them constantly. So I really felt bad for them. I always thought they were pretentious and just wrote them off. And pretty much every time I'd ever watched it. But this time, something about it, I was like, man, they're just trying.
I love in movies from that time, like in the 80s, late 80s. And this was like kind of at the end of it, where they used technology and fashion to set up a character as being like, either rich, snobby, or fashion, like really tech savvy.
Yeah.
And this was like the trifecta of that because they had these crazy clothes.
Yes. Their decor was
like and so they were wearing like all black jogging outfits.
Yes.
With like these mirror black shoes. And just the way that they designed their house.
Yes.
Didn't make any sense. It wasn't a logical design. But it was just meant to show that they were like super trendy.
Yeah. And
they had like this triangle table at the foot of their bed that had like vases with varying heights.
Yeah.
And it was just bizarre. But I love that.
That was like where they took their meals too, wasn't it? Like they had like a meal at that table in their bedroom, I think.
they did.
I don't know why I just said took their meals. That's a very strange phrase. Apparently I'm 100 years old. Yeah. And you see the Griswolds, the layout of their house, they're in like the suburbs. So the houses are pretty much the same, right? And yet the stairs, like the inside of their house is totally like different, like pretentious and
futuristic.
Futuristic. It had like I don't know what those stairs are called, the invisible stairs or anyway. It's where they're just boards going up as opposed to like solid. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, wow. They were something else. I totally felt for them this time though. So,
yeah.
What, if any, messages do you think were in this film?
Don't give up on Christmas.
Aww.
Don't
do it.
Keep going.
Aww. Wow.
Don't let your family spoil it. Don't let a bad tree spoil it. Just keep going.
Wow. I think the message for me in this film was, it doesn't matter how bumbling you are, sales associates will always flirt with you because they want to sell you things. No.
Oh, that whole monologue he did at the counter.
It was so ridiculous.
So ridiculous.
Yeah. It's so funny.
I can see where like SNL's oh my gosh, the guy who just bought a boat.
What?
It's on the Weekend Update.
Oh, the schooner guy.
Yeah.
Who is literally his character's name is Guy Who Just Bought a Boat.
Yeah.
Yes.
He totally is taking his inspiration from that. Yeah. Anyway, you were saying that's the message?
No, the message is people always try to fleece you. No, the message is probably just, actually the message is in the middle of the movie. You mentioned it, but it like the scene where he's in the attic and he's watching those like reels of himself as a kid and everything. Like that's an actual like legit touching scene.
Yeah.
Like it's really sweet. Ray Charles, of course, always tugs at the heartstrings when you're hearing him sing. But yeah, it's just about
keep putting your family front and center. Yeah.
Keeping the traditions alive and making those memories with people. Yeah, I think that's the message. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah.
So, if you were a relative who came from out of town in this movie, like what would your thing be?
I'd be the person who goes into the kitchen and like does a lot of cooking and he makes a huge mess.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I have to be something. I'm not going to be like my true self, which would be amazing. But
you would be amazing. Yeah,
I would. Yeah, probably that, or maybe the person who gets up early and annoys everyone with my chipper morning spirit.
Yeah, the really and that's actually pretty. As you mentioned earlier, that's pretty close to your actual personality. Indeed. You're like, isn't it wonderful? It's 5 a.m. The birds aren't up yet, but they'll be up soon.
What about you?
Oh, I would be...
I already know the answer.
What's the answer?
No, go ahead.
No, I want to know what I would be according to you. What would I be?
The person who like stays up late and then sleeps in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just natural and normal. People do that. I would be the loud, obnoxious, overtalker person, like relative who keeps telling you how amazing everything is. Oh, you got a raise? Well, my raise actually was twice as big as yours.
Oh, a one-upper.
I'd be the one-upper.
Nice. Yeah, I could see that.
I would be that, totally. Okay. Do you have any questions for me on this one? Like, beyond what you've already asked?
When do you want to go to Chicago?
That's the only place to sell mogwais. Do they have a little China in Chicago? Like, we might be able to find mogwais there.
I'll look.
You'll look?
Maybe there's one there now.
There might be? Okay. Yeah. All right. I'm just picturing Gizmo eating a Chicago dog now.
Yes.
That'd be great. Okay. I don't know is the answer to that. I have no idea.
Okay.
I'm not certain.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, we're getting close. We're like getting close to Christmas.
I know.
Are you going to be okay?
If we watch Die Hard, I'll be fine.
You're what?
I'll be fine.
You'll be fine? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. We might watch it.
It was referenced in church today. The pastor talked about Die Hard in church today.
Oh, classic. Gotta love it.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Until next time.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Let us adore him, Christ the Lord.
That was beautiful.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, fa la 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 la. Don we now our gay apparel, fa la 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 la. Hey, the Yuletide carol, fa la 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 la. Take it, Russ. Fa la 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 la.
Can I refill your eggnog for you? Get you something to eat? Drive you out to the middle of nowhere? Leave you for dead?
No, I'm doing just fine, Clark. Just glad to be here.
That's all that matters tonight. Not bonuses or gifts or turkeys or trees. See, kids, it means something different to everybody. Now I know what it means to me.